When was the last time you went out of your way to learn about a different culture? America is suffering from a lack of cultural competency. But how would we solve this problem and ultimately break through barriers? That's what I'm going to be discussing today. In my speech, I will be discussing the prominence of American ignorance and how it can be solved by joining the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps not only provides personal benefits, but societal benefits as well. American ignorance, or simply a lack of cultural competency, has resulted in a lack of understanding and appreciation of other cultures. What are some examples of American ignorance? To start, many of us know that American students typically don't appreciate foreign language. Especially here, personally, I definitely have complained about the fact that I have to obtain foreign language credits here at every time. According to Stanford Ungar, a student at Georgetown University in 2015 stated that students in America are actually studying foreign language 6.7% less than they did 5 years ago. Another example from InsideHigherEducation.com in 2015 also stated 13 and a half years after 9/11, a complex international environment is feeling even more distant, unknowable, and strange. It is thought that only 1/3 of Americans hold passports, and also compared to 50% in Australia, 60% in China, and compared to 80% in the United Kingdom. Study abroad rates in American colleges and universities are on average stuck in low single digits. University of Washington's Olympic Peninsula Community Museum discussed the cultural awareness in our society. It discusses that as our country becomes more diverse, racism increases. According to the U.S. Bureau of the Census, it states that an immigrant makes our country more diverse every 40 seconds, which is basic proof that our country becomes more diverse every day. But as there's more minorities and racism increases, it forces immigrants to assimilate into the mainstream culture and ultimately abandon their heritage. And this is possibly due to the fact that there's a lack of cultural awareness. How many of you are going to be doctors and are willing to spend your days in Ghana? Technicians and engineers, how many of you are willing to spend your lives traveling the world? This is a quote from Senator John F. Kennedy. On October 14, 1960, Kennedy spoke to the students at the University of Michigan. It was the catalyst for the desire for students and young individuals to take part in developing countries and support help for other cultures. This is also to take part in the peace and development program. It wasn't until Kennedy took presidency in 1961 that the Peace Corps moved towards approval. And then on March 1st, 1961, the Peace Corps was established by an executive order. Through the Peace Corps, Kennedy's purpose and ambition was to motivate people, Americans and people of other nations and cultures, to create a way for them to have more of an understanding of one another, and ultimately get people more involved in the peace, development, freedom, and global democracy. The Peace Corps is constantly making adjustments despite the changes and the hardships our world is faced with, but they always have managed to stand true to their core mission. PeaceCorps.gov states, Peace Corps serves to establish world peace and friendship. It also states to help people of interested countries and meet their needs for trained men and women, to help promote a better understanding of others and of peoples on part of the Americans, as well as to promote an understanding of American on the part of those who are served. The Peace Corps provides us all with the opportunities to implement a change and gain knowledge of those who are not aware of their culture. By immersing yourself into a culture of a developing country, this will allow for a broadening view of the world as well as an appreciation for other cultures. It was said that the Peace Corps is regarded as an opportunity that enables personal growth. Dr. Russell Morgan Jr. in 2015 stated, "My experience in the Peace Corps was the most transformational moment of my life because it provided a platform for my career. And ultimately, the Peace Corps not only serves the people in need, but the volunteer in the hopes of bettering their career." The Peace Corps is recommended to invoke your understanding of your life and establish a minimalist lifestyle so you can distinguish from the life necessities and luxuries. You begin to be able to empathize with others and ultimately distinguish what is actually important in life. Though the biggest concern that many have with the Peace Corps is the fact that it could be a concern of the overall safety of the volunteer. However, the Peace Corps addresses this by providing every volunteer with access to the annual statistical report of crime against volunteers. They are also trained in various situations, such as natural disasters or political conflict, to understand their roles and responsibilities in these situations. The Peace Corps states, "There's nothing more important to the Peace Corps than the overall health, safety, and security of every single volunteer." What can you do to get involved? It's pretty simple by logging on to www.peacecorps.gov/apply. But also, what I recommend and what I'm going to try to do here at Pepperdine is try to introduce a relationship between the Peace Corps and Pepperdine University so that we can allow students to have a relationship with this organization and ultimately start their career before they graduate. Because as of right now, I believe all of you would like to graduate and not actually join the Peace Corps immediately right now. In my speech, I have provided you with 3 different examples of American ignorance, as well as the benefits of joining the Peace Corps. To invoke personal growth as well as your career, as well as telling you how you can implement this by joining the Peace Corps or helping me start this opportunity. But I would like to leave you all with a quote. As Sergeant Shriver, the developer of the Peace Corps, stated, "Break your mirrors. Yes, indeed, shatter the glass." In a society that is so self-absorbed, stop looking at yourself and start looking at each other. Learn more about the face of your neighbor and less about your own.